here we are at one of the most famous images in New York, and believe it or not, it's an illegal piece of art. Most people don't know that. Arturo Demonica made this charging bull to represent the strength of not only Wall Street, but the American people after the stock market crash in December of 1987. Excuse me, stock market crash of 1987. In December of 1987, he placed the charging bull underneath a Christmas tree right in front of the New York Stock Exchange. Well, it couldn't be there. It was illegal. So the police removed it, and there was such an outcry that they temporarily put it right here. And here it is ever since. As you can tell by the crowds, it's incredibly popular. And he actually plans on making 5. There are already 2. There are already 2, one in Amsterdam and one in Shanghai. The bull is 7,100 pounds of brass. Now, with any brass statue, it has become very popular to rub it for good luck. It's also, as I mentioned, it is illegal, but there's always police protection because it is so popular. Now, at closer glance, you can tell how mature people are, in that the shiniest parts of the brass statue, which means the most parts that have been rubbed, are the parts that distinguish it as a bull instead of a cow. It's been used in numerous movies and numerous ad campaigns, so there you go, the piece of illegal art that has become one of the city's most popular sites. Now let's look at Bowling Green Park. If you remember, I said it is the oldest public park in New York City. It acted for a while from 1641 to 1647 as a cattle market. Then it became an annual market to trade grains and that sort of thing. And then in 1733, 3 wealthy local landowners acquired the site for 1 peppercorn a year with the understanding that they would make it a public park. In 1770, they erected 2 statues. They erected a statue of Prime Minister William Pitt and an equestrian statue of King George III. Now keep in mind, this was in 1770. The popularity of King George III was decreasing rapidly. So the colonists were not happy about this statue, and there was so much protesting that the city put forth its first anti-graffiti laws with this fence, which still stands today. After the Declaration of Independence was read in 1776, the city's inhabitants stormed down to this park, mainly to get to the New York governor. When they couldn't get him, they tore down the statue of King George and carried it around the city. They cut off its head. Nobody really knows what happened to part of the statue. Legend has it that they melted it down and used it for bullets in the Revolutionary War. The tail from the horse is in Francois Tavern, which we'll pass by later. The head was eventually taken by some loyalists and shipped back to England. Now, the statue of William Pitt is at the New York Historic Society, so they didn't quite do to William Pitt what they did to King George III. All right, now we're going to walk down Broadway to the southern tip of Manhattan. As we walk past, as I said, if you look up to your right, you can catch a little glimpse of the Woolworth building. And also, when we pass by number 1 Broadway, take notice of the nautical themes on the building, as I said before, it was very popular for the shipping companies at the time.